Hi everyone, welcome to this session of video classroom organized by Government College Malappuram. Topic of this session is cost of production. In this session, I am going to deal cost concepts and traditional theory of cost. And this session is mainly intended for first and second semester complementary course. To begin with, cost of production is the amount spent for producing certain output of a commodity. It is the sum of all payment to the factors of production engaged in the production process of a particular commodity. Now see cost function. Cost function shows the relationship between output and cost. Cost function is determined by production function and the price it pays for the factors of production. And hence, cost function is a derived function. It is derived from production function. Cost function is mainly classified into short run cost function and long run cost function. In the short run, there are fixed as well as variable inputs. Accordingly, short run cost function can be represented as C is equal to f of x, t, pf and k bar, where C is equal to total cost, f represents function, x is total output, t technology, pf price of factors and k bar is fixed inputs. In the long run, there are only variable inputs. Accordingly, long run cost function can be represented as C is equal to f of x, t, pf, where C is total cost, f represents function, x is total output, t is technology and pf is price of factors. There are no fixed inputs in the long run. Now see, let us see different types of cost. First one, money cost or nominal cost. It is the amount spent in terms of money for the production of a commodity. These are the expenses incurred by a firm to produce a commodity. It is the sum of all payments to the factors of production engaged in the production process of a commodity, such as rent, wages, interest, profit, cost of production, cost of raw materials, insurance charge, depreciation charges, etc. And real cost is the efforts and sacrifices undergone by various members of society in producing a commodity. It is the trouble and sacrifice of factors in producing a commodity. As it is a subjective concept, it cannot be measured because it is based on certain psychological concepts like disutility, abstinence and waiting. Then C, explicit cost. Explicit cost is the actual expenditure of the firm to hire the inputs needed for production. These include payment for inputs which are not actually owned by the firm. And these are the cash payments which the firm make to outsiders for their goods and services. For example, the producer has to hire laborers in the production process, or it has to take land for rent, and the payment for these are included in explicit cost. Explicit cost is also known as accounting cost or historical cost. Next is implicit cost. Implicit cost is otherwise known as imputed cost. These are the value of self-owned, self-employed resources which are used in the production process. Here the firm may own certain resources by their own, and they can use such resources or factors in the production process. The producer does not have to make any payment for the use of such resources in the production process. These are implicit cost. These include rent on his land, wages of his own labor, etc. Another type of cost is opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the most valuable alternative that must be sacrificed to obtain inputs to produce the good. It is the cost of next best alternative foregone. The factors of production have alternative uses. Opportunity cost of using a particular input in the production of a particular commodity is the value of that commodity that must be foregone for some other alternatives. Then opportunity cost is also known as alternative cost or transfer cost. Next is economic cost. Economic cost include payment to factors of production such as land, labor, capital organization in the form of remuneration, that is rent, wages, interest and profit. Economic cost is equal to explicit cost or accounting cost plus implicit cost. Another type of cost is sunk cost. Sunk cost is the expenditure that has been incurred but cannot be recovered. As the sunk cost cannot be recovered, it should not influence firm's decision. Example, installation of a new software or advertising expenditure. Now let us move to traditional cost theory. Traditional cost theory distinguishes cost into short run cost and long run cost. In the short run, there are fixed inputs as well as variable inputs. In the short run, output can be increased or decreased by changing variable inputs. The firm cannot change fixed inputs. Accordingly, there are fixed cost and variable cost in the short run. Short run costs are mainly total cost, which includes total fixed cost and total variable cost, average cost, which include average fixed cost and average variable cost, and marginal cost. In the long run, there are only variable inputs. Accordingly, long run costs are long run average cost and long run marginal cost according to traditional cost theory. Now let us see all these costs one by one. First one, total cost. Total cost is the cost of all productive resources used by the firm. This is the minimum cost that must be incurred to produce certain level of output. It is the sum of, total cost is the sum of total fixed cost and total variable cost. Next, total fixed cost. Total fixed costs are costs that do not vary with output. Total fixed cost remains the same even when output is 0, that is even when no goods or services are produced, and hence it cannot be avoided. It includes rent payment, insurance, certain salaries, interest payment, etc. Then total variable cost. Total variable costs are the costs which change with the change in level of output. When output is 0, total variable cost is also 0. With the increase in output, total variable cost also increases. It includes electricity charges, wages of workers, cost of raw materials, etc. Now illustrate these three curves with the help of a diagram. Here in the diagram, TFC is a horizontal straight line. It shows at whatever level of output, total fixed cost remains fixed. And TVC starting from origin shows that when output is 0, TVC is also 0. And with the increase in output, TVC also increases. And TC the sum of TVC and TFC also have the same shape as TVC, because as the output increases, TC and TVC increases by the same amount. At first, TC and TVC increases at an increasing rate, then increases at a diminishing rate, reflecting the law of variable proportion. Now, the vertical distance between TC and TVC is total fixed cost. Next, see average cost. Average cost is the total cost per unit of output. Average cost is obtained by dividing the total cost by the level of output. Average cost is the sum of average fixed cost and average variable cost. Next, average fixed cost. Average fixed cost is the fixed cost per unit of output. As the level of output increases, average fixed cost decreases throughout its length. Then average fixed cost is obtained by dividing the total fixed cost by the level of output. Next, average variable cost. Average variable cost is the variable cost per unit of output. It is obtained by dividing the total variable cost by the level of output, that is AVC is equal to TVC by Q. Illustrate these three costs with the help of a diagram. In the diagram, average cost curve and average variable cost curves have U shape reflecting the law of variable proportion. Initially, average cost and average variable costs are falling due to increasing returns and reaches minimum when the plant is operated optimally, and beyond the optimal level of output, both average cost and average variable costs are increasing. Average variable cost reaches minimum point at the point of B and average cost at point A, showing that average variable cost reaches minimum point at a lower level of output than average cost. This is because average cost includes average fixed cost also besides average variable cost. Then average fixed cost is, the shape of average fixed cost is rectangular hyperbola, means average fixed cost is falling throughout its length. This is because average fixed cost is obtained by dividing total fixed cost by the level of output. As the total fixed cost remains the same, fixed cost is spread over more units of output, and as a result AFC has got the shape of rectangular hyperbola. Then marginal cost. Marginal cost is change in total cost resulting from the production of one more unit of output, or it is the addition to total cost resulting from production of one more unit of output. And marginal cost can be obtained by dividing change in total cost by the change in level of output, that is MC is equal to delta TC by delta Q. MC curve also has got a U shape due to law of variable proportion. Now, from the diagram we can see the relationship between MC AC curve and AVC curve. When average cost curve and average variable cost curves are falling, MC lies below AC and AVC, and when AC and AVC are rising, MC is greater than AC and AVC curves, and MC is passing through the minimum point of AC and AVC curves. And as we have already seen, minimum point of AVC curve is at point A at Q1 level of output, which is less than Q2 level of output, which shows the minimum point of AC. This is because AC includes AFC besides AVC. Illustrate this short-run cost curve with the help of a table. In the table, first column is level of output and second column TFC. TFC is fixed for all levels of output, say for example 30 rupees, and TVC is 0 when output is 0 and TVC increases with the increase in output. Next is TC. TC is the sum of TVC and TFC, and even when output is 0, there is TC that is equal to TFC. In the fifth column, AFC. AFC is obtained by dividing TFC by level of output. Then when the level of output is 1, AFC is 30 by 1, that is 30. Then when level of output is 2, AFC is 30 divided by 2, that is 15, like that. Then AVC is TVC divided by Q, and when the level of output is 1, TVC is 10 divided by 1, that is equal to 10. Again, when the level of output is 2, 18 divided by 2, that is equal to 9, like that. Then AC is the sum of AFC and AVC. It can also be obtained by dividing TC by Q. In the eighth column, there is MC. MC is obtained by dividing the change in TC by change in output. When level of output is 1, change in TC is 10 divided by 1, that is 10. When the level of output increases to 2, change in TC is 8. So, 8 divided by 1, that is equal to 8, like that. MC can also be obtained. Now, let us move to long run average cost curve according to traditional cost theory. Long run average cost curve is the cost per unit of output in the long run when all inputs are variable inputs. It is the least cost of producing a given level of output, or it is a minimum cost of producing a given level of output. LAC is also known as planning curve, as it guides the entrepreneur to plan future expansion of output. It is also known as envelope curve, as LAC envelope short run average cost curves. Graphically, long run average cost curve can be derived from short run average cost curve. In the diagram, SAC 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that SAC curves are given. Each point on LAC curve is the point of tangency with the corresponding SAC curve. When LAC is falling portion of SAC is tangential to LAC. When LAC is rising portion of SAC is tangential to LAC, that is SAC 3 and SAC 4. When LAC is minimum point of SAC is tangential, that is SAC 2 is tangential at point M at x2 level of output. The shape of LAC curve is U-shaped, reflecting law of returns to scale. According to law of returns to scale, with the expansion of output on a large scale, per unit cost decreases due to economies of scale. Economies of scale are the advantages or beneficial effects to the firm when the firm is operating on a large scale. And economies of scale are mainly classified into internal economies and external economies. Internal economies of scale are beneficial effects or advantages that result from changes within the firm. These include specialization and division of labor when the firm is operating on a large scale. Also marketing economies, marketing of byproducts and increasing efficiency of management. Then there are also external economies. External economies are advantages to the firm resulting from the changes outside the firm. These include availability of raw material, cheap and improved transportation facilities for the firm when the firm is operated on a large scale, and research and information services available to the firm. And as a result of these internal as well as external economies, LAC is falling or it has a negative slope in the beginning, and when it reaches the optimum point, that is at X2 level of output, LAC is minimum. Beyond the optimum point, diseconomies of scale operate. When it is operating on a large scale, these include managerial inefficiencies, problem of coordination and control, and as a result cost increases, per unit cost increases. LAC has positive slope. Next is long run marginal cost curve. Long run marginal cost curve is addition to total long run total cost curve with the production of one more unit of output when all inputs are variable inputs. LMC is equal to delta LTC by delta Q. Graphically, LMC is the slope of total cost curve and the shape of long run marginal cost curve is also U shaped. This is because of law of returns to scale. Long run marginal cost curve is flatter than short run marginal cost curve. With this, let me conclude my words. Thank you.